April 2nd, 2025 will forever be remembered as the day American industry was reborn, the day America's destiny was reclaimed, and the day that we began to make America wealthy again.
Huge promises from the White House, an economic renaissance. But a year later, has it lived up to the hype? To find out, we looked at the numbers and spoke to one of the top business leaders in the state.
No one is celebrating the anniversary of liberation.
Danny Seiden is the president and CEO of the Arizona Chamber of Commerce. To be clear, he's not some radical liberal or a Democratic activist. Before taking his current job, Seiden worked under Republican Governor Doug Ducey, pushing pro-business policies. And he's been warning about these tariffs from day one.
The net effects of the way in which those tariffs were rolled out have not been positive. What we have seen are prices have gone up. The ability for certain manufacturers to move forward has been challenged because there's no certainty on the prices. There's no certainty on financing. You can't plan that way.
That confusing business climate is reflected in the latest jobs numbers. According to the Arizona Office of Economic Opportunity, Arizona lost 19,400 jobs over the past year. The biggest losers, government lost 11,000 jobs. Trade, transportation, and utilities shed 5,200 jobs. Hospitality lost another 4,800 jobs, and the numbers don't get any better when it comes to prices. Arizonans are feeling it every time they take a trip to the grocery store. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, coffee is up 18% year over year, lettuce 15.3%, and ground beef costs 15% more than it did a year ago.
And there was one bright spot when it came to prices, according to those same numbers. The price of eggs dropped by 42% over the past year.
I think
remember that was a big deal.
Well, that was because the bird flu was wiping out millions of chickens this time last year.
So many things. Yeah. Okay. So I think initially a year ago, people were really shocked when they saw China, Taiwan, Japan. They're charging us 60 plus, 40 plus %, and we're not having anything near reciprocal. The big question is, though, now that many of those tariffs have been pushed back, what's going to happen to that money? Is it coming back to the retailers, to the customers?
I think what Seiden was telling me is that it's still right now a climate of uncertainty,
right? And
it's very hard for business to operate in that, to plan ahead, to know what their costs are going to be, to what the prices they're going to sell to their customers are going to be. And as long as the president still remains committed to this tariff policy, you're going to see some of that climate, that confusing climate out there, as this moves forward. So I think we're going to be stuck here for a little while to see how this all plays out.
Yeah. All right, Dennis. Thanks. He is committed, as you said.
Yep.
All right.